and welcome back to Mind Your Being. And if you're new here, I'm Cass, the host of Mind Your Being, and I'm grateful you're here today. I'm grateful to everyone listening, the fact that you've taken time out of your day. I'm so happy you're here. For regular listeners, you might notice my voice sounds slightly husky, slightly different today. I'm recovering from some kind of respiratory virus and I've been pretty sick for about 2 weeks now. I'm starting to get back to normal. However, my voice is still affected by some coughing. The show must go on, right? So today I want to have a bit of a conversation with you. Something I'm really passionate about is aging, strength, and the way we think about our bodies. So I recently turned 52, and according to my kids, apparently that makes me ancient. Now, with regard to my body, there are definitely moments where I notice changes in my body since menopause, and if I'm totally honest, I don't love all of the changes. I don't love how I can bust my chops with exercise, eat well, and still my body doesn't respond to all of that the way it did when I was in my 20s and maybe early 30s. But it is expected that there would be some changes as you age. And I choose not to make that my main focus. I'm choosing to focus on keeping myself functionally fit and strong. And I'm wondering how many of you can relate to this. We live in a culture that places so much emphasis on appearance, youthfulness, thinness, and trying to somehow fight aging. You notice skincare is age-defying and diets are youthful diets, and that kind of youth is everything culture kind of feeds on itself. And sometimes it can feel like the loudest messages directed at women are all about how we look. As I've said, this is something I'm really passionate about. And lately I've been thinking more and more about a different question. So not how do I look, but what can my body do for me? Can my body carry me through the next few decades of my life? Can it support the lifestyle I want to live? Can I stay independent, mobile, strong, capable? And honestly, that perspective, that focus has felt really freeing. Because when I think about my future, my goals actually have very little to do with my clothing size. What matters to me and what I focus on is, can I carry my own groceries? Can I travel comfortably? Can I get down onto the floor and play with future grandkids one day? Can I stay steady on my feet? Am I strong enough to stop a fall if I stumble? Can I keep participating fully in the life I want to live? That feels so much more meaningful to me than chasing an unrealistic standard of appearance. And I hope this goes without saying, this isn't about shaming any body type. We all have different genetics, different bodies, and strength doesn't necessarily look the same on everyone. But for me, this conversation is really about supporting our bodies and our health in ways that are accessible for us so we can stay capable, independent, and able to live the lives we want to live. And one of the reasons this has been on my mind is because of conversations I've had on the podcast, conversations with Professor Belinda Beck, Dr Tracey Clissold, Dr Justin Keogh, and recently with Dr Anne Hester. So one of the biggest things I learned from those conversations is just how important our muscles and bones are, not only for movement, but for overall health, independence, our confidence, and quality of life as we age. So strength training also isn't only about physical health. Feeling physically capable can support our confidence, our resilience, mental well-being, and the way we move through the world. I think many of us don't really think about bone health until we hear words like osteopenia or osteoporosis. But our bones are living tissue. They respond to how we use them. It's that old adage, use it or lose it. That is true with bones and muscles. And what these experts explain is actually incredibly hopeful. They talked about how bones can still become stronger as we age when we give them the right stimulus through resistance training, loading, impact, movement, and proper nourishment. And none of these experts promoted the skinniness culture. Another thing I've learned is that muscle loss and bone loss can happen gradually and quietly as we age, especially through midlife and for women post-menopause. And that's why being proactive matters, not from a place of fear, but from a place of care for our current and future selves. Frailty prevention doesn't begin at 80. The foundations for healthy aging are often built much earlier, in our 40s, 50s, 60s. And importantly, all of these experts emphasize that it's never too late to start. I really want you to take that part in. It is never too late to become stronger. You do not have to become an elite athlete. You do not have to punish yourself in the gym. You do not need to look a certain way to deserve strength. Resistance training can be accessible and adaptable. It might begin with bodyweight exercises, walking hills, carrying weights, working with a physiotherapist or an exercise physiologist, or simply starting slowly and building gradually over time. But building muscle and supporting our bone density, it matters enormously for our future health because strong muscles and strong bones help support our balance, our mobility, and help with falls prevention. And falls can become such a significant issue as we age, not simply because of the fall itself, but because of fractures, loss of mobility, and frailty can sometimes lead to a loss of independence and confidence. And I think independence is deeply connected to our dignity and our quality of life. I think sometimes we underestimate how life-changing strength can be. And that is why I keep banging on about it on the podcast. Strength allows us to keep living, to keep participating, to keep saying yes to life. And I also think there's something really powerful about changing the broader societal narrative around women's bodies. What if we celebrated strength as much as we celebrate thinness? What if, instead of shrinking ourselves, we focused on strengthening ourselves? It sounds like a revelation, but it shouldn't be. I would genuinely love to see more conversations about building muscle, supporting our bones, improving balance, protecting long-term mobility, and helping women and men age with vitality and independence. Because aging is not a personal failure. Our bodies changing is not a personal failure. And while it's completely valid to have moments of grief or discomfort around aging at times, I also think there's another pathway available to us, one that's rooted in appreciation. Gratitude for our bodies can exist alongside the reality that aging and change can sometimes feel emotionally complex. What about appreciation for all the ways our bodies carry us through life? When you think about it, our bodies are amazing. Our bodies breathe for us. They move us through the world. They hold our children. They allow us to hug people we love. They allow us all kinds of things like dancing, walking, laughing, traveling, creating, connecting with others. All of that matters. And perhaps part of healthy aging is learning to work with our bodies instead of constantly being at war with them. So today, I just wanted to gently encourage you to think about your future self. What kind of life do you hope to be living in 10, 20, or 30 years? And what can you start doing now to support that future? I love a saying from episode 28 recently with Dr Anne Hester. She was talking about the pillars of lifestyle medicine, and she said, find your vision and act with precision. So she was talking about what kind of future do you want, and then take action to promote that future. So maybe that means beginning resistance training. Maybe it means nourishing yourself better. Maybe it means walking more. Maybe it means prioritizing sleep or reducing stress. It's going to be different for everyone, right? It doesn't have to happen perfectly, and it certainly doesn't have to happen all at once. But small, consistent investments in our health matter. Because ultimately for me, the goal is not to become smaller. The goal is to remain strong enough to fully participate in life. And I hope this episode encourages you to think about what strength, vitality, freedom, and healthy aging might look like for you too. Thank you so much for listening. And if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who might need the reminder that aging can also be about strength, capability, wisdom, and possibility. Now, before we finish today's episode, I'd love to guide you through a short meditation focused on acceptance, appreciation, and strength. If you're able to, allow yourself to get comfortable. You might gently close your eyes or simply soften your gaze and just begin by noticing your breath. No need to change it. No need to make anything happen. Just noticing the steady rhythm of your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. And with each exhale, allow your shoulders to soften a little more. Allow your jaw to unclench. Allow your body to feel supported where you are. And as you sit here today, I want you to gently bring your awareness to your body. Not to how it looks, not to how it compares, but simply to the fact that it is here, quietly supporting you, quietly carrying you through your life. Your body has carried you through hard seasons and beautiful moments, through stress and joy, through ordinary days and life-changing ones. It has allowed you to hug people you love, to walk through the world, to laugh, to rest, and begin again. And perhaps today, even just for a moment, you can release the pressure to constantly judge it. You do not need to earn appreciation for your body. And you do not have to love every change to practice kindness toward yourself. Acceptance and grief can exist together. Strength and softness can exist together too. Now bring your attention back to your breath. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in steadiness. And as you breathe out, imagine letting go of criticism. Breathing in, support. Breathing out, comparison. Breathing in, strength. Breathing out, pressure. And now, imagine your body becoming stronger over time. Not through punishment, not through perfection, but through care. Small acts of care repeated gently over time. Nourishing yourself, moving your body, building strength, supporting your bones and muscles, giving your future self the gift of support and stability. Imagine yourself in the years ahead, moving confidently, standing steadily, participating fully in life, able to carry what you need to carry, able to keep exploring, connecting, traveling, laughing, living. And notice how strength is not just about muscles. Strength is also resilience, adaptability, presence, hope. Your body does not need to look a certain way to be worthy of care. And it is never too late to begin supporting yourself with compassion. Take one more slow breath in and a long, gentle breath out. And as we finish today, perhaps you might carry this thought with you. My body deserves care, support, and appreciation for all it allows me to experience in this life. And little by little, I can keep building strength for the future I hope to live. Now, when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room around you. Gently breathing in and out. Thank you so much for spending these moments with me today. Until next time, take care and mind your being. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Mind Your Being podcast. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please follow the show wherever you get your podcasts and share it with a friend who might enjoy it too. If you have a moment, please leave a quick review. It really helps others discover the podcast. Thanks again for being here. Take care, and until next time, mind your being.